Here's what you get with the AP African American Studies Unit 4 bundle. With this bundle, you get access to all of my files that are in folders, each one corresponding to a particular day on this chart. The negritude movement is this file here. Black Studies and Futurism. The last section is right here. I've even included questions for the documentary Right to Offend. And within each of these files, you get a video explaining the historiography as well as the lesson, a PowerPoint in the most updated version of PowerPoint, a source, and a turnkey worksheet for students to complete. We're going to look at some of the PowerPoints. Here we see a screenshot from all of the slides for the redlining PowerPoint day. Each lesson begins with this slide. Terms are here. Students are asked and reminded to use the source sheet, the themes for the AP course, and occasionally you will see the activity on the bottom right. Occasionally there are screenshots from various sources. This is from the redlining section. Required AP sources are embedded in the slides. And then of course we have some activities, this one dealing with redlining and property values declining as a result of the fear of white flight and integration. In this particular assignment, students are responding to a series of scenarios and trying to determine whether or not the federal government, local or state government can resolve some of the issues with regard to segregation, redlining, and white flight. This is another sample from the negritude movement. Students are asked to complete this chart. They're using this source with the previous chart, which is a required source in the AP framework. This is a screenshot from the hip hop to spiritual section, where I've included a list of significant songs with regard to the historiography of hip hop. I've included the significance of the song as well as a link. Then you get to the end of every lesson. This is the one from redlining, and you see that same opening slide with the terms. And then you have embedded within the slideshow a screenshot of the terms defined for students to check their notes. With the bundle, you are going to get access to Google folders, and Google folders includes two different types of assessments. This one right here, the yellow, all documents from the AP framework. I've split them up into three. One of them has all the documents, which is about 213 questions, and then I broke it down first half and second half. This one includes only the terms. As I went through the framework, I've identified terms like Great Migration, colonization, and other terms. I think there's about 100 of those particular terms and names. And then I broke that down into sections as well. And then accompanying these sheets, you have a term key sheet for students, a blank one, an answer key, and then the source sheet. Let's take a little bit look at that in greater depth. This slide is showing the assessment for Unit 4 documents. As I said, there's over 200 questions. Embedded in the Google Forms are the primary source documents from the AP framework with a series of questions. This is another image from the AP framework. The sample question about identifying that particular image. Students can use this worksheet. This worksheet has all of the sources here, the required sources. They're required to come up with a definition, determine the significance, and it kind of correlates to the document in the Google form. There's a zoom in at the potential answer choices. This is the term sheet. The term sheet one is blank for students to come up with a definition for negritude, Berlin Conference, and then you have the answer key here. With this folder, you also get the terms for those definitions, where students can use the term sheet to define the terms and check their work. By purchasing the bundle, you also get access to this folder that includes one PowerPoint for every slideshow. There's 19 in total. On this slide, we see a screenshot of one of the PowerPoints, and we're going to focus primarily in this area right here. Here we have some sample questions from the Afrofuturism. This one checking definitions and terminology like Afrocentrism. And then you have the images from the slideshow embedded within the Google Forms. Again, what you're purchasing here, a series of PowerPoints, videos, and resources to check the sources, terms, videos, a pay sheet, and everything you need for Unit 4 AP African American Studies.